Welcome to the RC Community Sticker Project, brought to you by Fast Freddy RC. In today's video, we're doing a shout-out to Island RC Duke. Great guy, cool videos, awesome static model kits. So for step 23, the steering linkage, well, we got to grab our threaded shafts, grab our bits and bobs and put that together. And then on the second step, we have to grab this piece E7, which you can see right here, because that's what all of the steering linkages are going to attach to. But one of the things I think is very cool is, you know, obviously we're putting in a full set of ball bearings. This is brass bushings. We're going to add those ball bearings at this point. So it's kind of nice to see that for the steering linkage, they're allowing you the option to use ball bearings. So here we have our ball connectors, all of our, the two bearings that we're going to put in, all of our adjusters, and then there's your threaded shafts. So I'll set this up and we'll start putting this together. So first off, if we work on these, you can see that there are two of them, and they're identical, and they both have to be at 34 millimeters. Now, first of all, I'm just going to see how this is going to spin on. But if we take this and spin, sometimes they go on nice and easy, sometimes not. Well, it's a little tougher. And once again, I mean, I have a pair of shock pliers. I just find this so much easier because you can grab onto that shaft really nicely, and then I can just spin. And that means I've got something that I can really hold onto while I spin these on. So I'm just going to get them in a little bit here, which you can see that's fine. And now let's do the other one. Now I've got something to hold now, so I might be able to start this process without... No. So again, I'm going to use the shock pliers because I just find this is easier, because I have a much more easier hold on the bar itself. The bar's not slipping through my fingers. So doing it this way, you can concentrate on just spinning this black piece onto the bar. So I'm just going to spin this on a little bit more. Let's just do a sort of a check here in terms of the distance. And you can see it's way out. We still need to screw this in on both sides quite a bit more. So I'll do one more on that, and let's just turn this around, because if you want to have these as even as possible, and what I need a better grip on that, and what I mean by that is, you know, you can see that they both have to be screwed in. So if it's 34 millimeters, you don't want this one only just on and this one tightened all the way onto the bar. You want to try and make these as even as possible so that the threading is similar both on this side and that. So let's just see what that is. Now, according to this, it's looking like it's pretty much correct. And you can see there's your 34. Now, technically, I could back this off, and I'm just going to spin it backwards on either side. It looks right. But if we do an actual check, if we look at this, that distance should be 34 millimeters. And as you can see on that ruler, if I put this all the way to the end, to the edge, that is 34 millimeters. So we need to make another one of those. So it'll be the same idea. We'll grab, in fact, I'll grab the shaft just like that right now. And we'll spin the adjuster on. And I'm also trying to make sure that I'm getting that adjuster on as level as possible as I'm spinning this on. Seems good. So, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Grab our adjuster. Just find these shock pliers. They are just a handy tool overall. I mean, you can see, obviously, these are not shocks, but because you can really grab the shaft a lot easier with it, it makes it so much easier to work with. So again, let's do the test. I'm pretty much where it should be. I might back it off just one turn. Seems fine. So again, let's take our ruler, let's take the end of that, and you can see if we put that right on the end, it's at the 34 millimeters. So I'm okay with that. And of course, we could actually just match this up, grab the two, grab the ends, make sure they're level. I don't know if you can see that on there. Make sure they're level, and they're level on both ends. So those two I'm happy with. So that's done. So then we have the smaller one. So if we grab the smaller threaded shaft, same idea. I'm just gonna put that on there, and we'll spin. Yep. I'm just gonna, yeah, and you see these are only going to be 25 millimeter in between. So they'll be screwed on just a little bit more by the looks of it, but let's just see. Now we're going to end up doing something very similar when we get to working on the rear steering. But let's just see how this works. Okay, so we're going to back that off a bit. Interesting. So you don't need to screw those on quite so much for this one, because it's showing that it needs a bit more distance between the two. Almost. Yeah, it looks about right. So, I'm going to grab the ruler again just to do a check. I mean, I know the Tamiya instructions are really, really good, but I like to just sort of double check it. And if we look at where the 25 is supposed to be, line that up, it pretty much is where it should be. So, there's your 25. So those are the links themselves. So now what we need to do is grab E7, which you can see is this part here, and there are 3 of the ball connectors. So you can see in terms of the shaping of that, in terms of how that is sitting, this is the raised side, because you can see that's level on this. If we turn that over, it is on the raised side, and we need to put all 3 of these on. Now what I find easiest is grab your box wrench, put the ball connector in to start with, and then you've got a better sense of how that's going to go on, and you can kind of keep this as level to the plastic part as possible, which means that when you're screwing in the ball connector, it is going in level. So we'll just keep spinning this on. Till we get the end. And you don't need to over tighten. It's a harder plastic, but you kind of know where that's going to sit. So there we go, there's one. So we'll do the same thing with the other one. Push that in there and keep it more or less as level as you can. Yep, it's going in correct. And we'll just keep screwing it in until we get to the end. And again, I mean, you can feel when it can't go any farther. So there we go. There are 2 of the ball connectors. Now we have the final one, which is going to sit right here. So again, let's get the box wrench and we will start screwing it in this way. Again, keep it as level as you can. Make sure that the gap in there is pretty much level either side. And I'll keep taking it off just to check, make sure that it's okay. It seems to be. I'm happy with that. And we're at the end. So there are the 3 ball connectors in place for this. And then you can see that we've got to put in the ball bearings for the replacements of the 850 metal bearings. So one of them is going to go on the back side right like that. That one went in pretty easy, as you can see. And then on this side, I'm going to pop that in, same thing. Pop that in as far as it can go. And now that's in place. So that's great. I do like the fact that this is ball bearing steering linkage. That's too cool. So that's good. All right. So we've got our tie rods. We've got our whatever you want to call that. And then we need to push these in. Now, I have said this before on other kits that if in a later step there's a reason to, or if they have like a steering adjustment step, then I'll wait to click everything in. Well, on this kit, they don't have that, which is interesting. So I'm just going to snap these all into place, and then we'll do final adjustments later. So if we do this, let's grab this one here, and we'll grab our pliers. You can see that we need to just snap this in place. So I'm just going to put that down there so that I can get the pliers onto it. There we go. There is one. And same again on this side. We'll attach that one there. And again, I think, well, maybe I can do it this way. No, it'll be easier if I put it down there. Yeah, let's do it this way. There we go. So there are 2 of the linkages, and then of course we actually have our steering one as well, or the actual one that's going to attach to the servo, I should say. So with this one, let's just, might be easier to do it that way. Let it rest on the ground, and then that happened too quickly. There. Nope, that moved. Let's try this one more time. There. And now we've got that linkage on there as well. So ultimately on this step, this is how it should look when you're finished. So there we go. Step 23 is complete. So now we're going to move on to step 24 and attach the steering linkage to the chassis.